Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our third of 5 Friday pre-event live streams for ETHDenver 2022. Thanks for joining us. We've got an amazing list of people joining us this week. We're moving from having a few of our stewards coming, including Paige, our Zen Zone steward, and Dan, the Biddle Week steward, returning to tell you more, to also having some of our track sponsors this year coming on to give a quick panel, introduce themselves, and tell us a little bit more about the track they'll be sponsoring. So I'm really excited for everything we've got lined up for you today. The first thing we're going to have up is Paige, our Zen Zone steward, returning to tell us all about the Zen Zone and what y'all can expect while you're there. Hi, Paige.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm actually in Florida. So I'm on a 2-hour time difference. But I'm excited to be able to get back in person after last year was virtual.
Yeah. And by the way, before we get into what people can expect in person, what did you think of the virtual Zen Zone last year?
I thought it was cool. It was really fun to create your own little characters, walk around, and I like teleporting from room to room.
For sure. Well, this year, unfortunately, we won't have teleportation at the castle. For what it's worth, we will have the virtual castle returning. We are fully hybrid. Everything that people experienced in 2021 is going to be brought back even better and more beautiful this year. But I know most of us, like you and I, are really excited to be back in the castle and to see each other again. So for people who have never been to ETHDenver, This will be a lot of people's first experience. Can you start from the beginning and explain what the Zen Zone is, where it is, and what people can expect?
So originally, Justin reached out to me. I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm really connected to the whole holistic healing world in Denver. I was out there for 15 years, and he was seeing the need for a space for all the attendees to go to relax. And the first year, he tried to create something like that, but he said, he was like ideas. You got all freedom to try some stuff out, and in the first year, I was just like, this is so amazing. It's so this space it's kind of hard to find, so you want to make sure that you definitely find it, because when you walk up to, I forget which floor it is now. Is it the second floor? Yeah, third floor.
We'll see. A few things have shifted around this year.
Yeah. So it's a really huge space. So a lot of times when you think you're in the Zen Zone, you want to keep going, and you actually go to other buildings. So there's a building that's connected to the sports castle, is what we call it, the castle. So it's connected through there. And then once you get onto that side, it's very, very, very chill, because we also have like, but in there, it's Zen Zone is down regulating your nervous system. We have yoga and massage and a few different surprises. And then this year also, I'm like really excited about, we have aura photography. People can come over there and try all these different therapies that they've never been exposed to. And there's also childcare on our side as well. And a bunch of bean bags. So people you can literally take a nap on our side. It's just there for you to recharge yourself before you go back into all the stimulation on the other side.
Yeah, I really appreciate that about ETHDenver and what you are very intentional in creating, because it's no surprise that a lot of the events in this space are very high energy. You're moving between, sitting at a panel to a loud party at night. And here at ETHDenver, we appreciate people wanting to connect and have a good time, but we don't allow giant parties on the main event weekend because we want people to be well rested while they're biddling. And we go out of our way to make space for you to, put out the beanbag chairs and have the yoga and the massage and the aura photography and all that, because we just value people's well-being here. So, on behalf of everyone in the community, thank you in advance for helping us stay grounded.
Definitely. Yes. And it's cool because I feel like we're literally two worlds colliding. Like I don't know so much about your world and you guys don't know much about my world, and then we come together, but then we find we have a lot of things in common, and we it's really fun, the conversations that people have and having that connection. I mean, that's what yoga is just being connected in general. So it's really fun when it's all in action. And then also like gong baths. Like some people might be like, what is that? And so after yoga, you can stay for meditation. And then I'm going to have someone come in and actually they hit the gong and you lay there and all the vibrations go over your body to help reset you. And it's really common and it's fun. So like, I feel like it's a really unique experience. Like when I try to hire people for the event, they're like, what is this? You know, like nothing is really like it.
Yeah. I'm a California hippie by training, and so I'm no stranger to enjoying a nice sound bath. But ETHDenver, it prides itself on being a lot of people's first Web3 event that they go to, a lot of people's first time trying to build something, a lot of people's first time making new connections in the space. Is this also a good place for people who are first timers to a meditation or a yoga, or should maybe they be intimidated that it's a high skill level or something?
No, everything I have going on in the Zen Zone is purposely supposed to calm you down. So it's all beginner yoga, really relaxing, calming meditation, like everything to just like, it's funny because I've had people come to ETH and they stay like the whole Zen Zone. That's awesome. Like the whole weekend, okay.
Yeah.
And it something it's something like every conference or something too, like this idea is so like nice to have when you're overstimulated and overwhelmed, and it's like dark and quiet, and like we will have like all these different nice like soft lighting, and you just walk in and you instantly like feel relaxed. So it's like
amazing.
A little sanctuary at our
Yeah. My friend's a massage therapist, and he says a lot of his clients show up and just fall asleep the second they hit the table, and they're happy to pay unreasonable amounts of money for the opportunity to just fully relax once a week. While I don't hope that any of our bidlers, fall asleep for the entire event, I think that some of them might be, burning the midnight oil and will enjoy the chance to actually, rejuvenate for a few hours.
Yeah, it actually is that 24 hours. So, it's like we're really operating between like 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. is when we're doing like most of our, but it's funny when I walk in there on like walk in and I'll be like, turn on the lights and I'm like, good morning. Like, it's really,
people just crash there.
Yeah, it's happened for sure. Yeah. And, I don't know. It's every year I try to, create something new and make it really fun. And it's, so I'm coming from Florida this year, staying out there. I think it's it's just really special. So I'm really honored to be part of this.
Yeah. Like I said, thank you in advance. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So you mentioned a few things. I think it's a tasty little menu. So if you don't mind, we can dig in just a little bit. Can you explain again what a sound bath is for someone who's never heard of that?
So so people are trained in different sound healing and they have different tools for that. So the gong is actually like this big metal circle, right, that you hit with a mallet, and when you hit it, the vibrations go out over everyone. So that's why it's kind of like bathing everybody in that vibration. Just like even sound healing bowls and all. So it's really intentional to, once you're in the space to relax, like that's why after yoga and meditation, I love having a sound bath, because then everyone can just lay there and be like, okay, this is just great. And they can go deeper into their meditation. So and it's cool. It's like, you don't have to do anything. You just get to experience it. And it's really powerful when all this stuff, when you never experienced it and then you get to, it's like, it really is life-changing. And it could be intimidating otherwise, but once you're once you walk over, everyone is so friendly and inviting. And, you know, we totally would love to like show you around the space if you walk in there and you're like, oh gosh,
Like
I
a
don't
little
know what to
tour.
do. It's like we want to
Sure.
make
I'm sure
everyone
some
feel
people will
really,
be, you know, ironically overwhelmed by the calming space we provide.
right, because they're like, this is different,
What
you
do I
know.
do?
But it's
Yeah. And did you mention aura photography a moment ago?
yeah. So this is something so last year when we did the virtual ETH, and I filmed the whole thing in the Zen Zone, or I made the Zen Zone the Banyan house here. So it's like a 24/7 Zen Zone. When I found the space down here, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Zen Zone. It's all the time.
I'm
And so
home.
we just yeah, I was like,
Okay.
this is really cool. And then I did aura photography at our full moon event. And I thought, wow, this is like so cool. Like I never heard about it. So then I reached out to you know, people in Denver. And like, someone's got to be doing this out there. So you go into a room and they take a Polaroid of you, and
Okay.
there'll be color around you, and then they'll explain to you like what that aura means. So you get
Oh, and it
a
might be
physical
different
photo.
colors or different size. Okay.
Yeah. So that's really fun too, because you get to like take it with you, and you can like see yourself and like state you're in, because your aura is constantly changing. So that's like your energy around you. And if all this is new to people, there's so much to learn. It's like just like when you start to get into crypto, there's so much to learn. So it's
Sure.
like,
It's a deep rabbit hole.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a lot of massage therapists, because that's always the most popular thing is everybody needs a massage. Um,
I'm
and
wondering if there's like a sign up system or a queue that I can just get in right now.
oh yeah, well, I'm finishing this weekend getting information up about like the timing and everybody that's going to be involved. So if we can get people to sign up I'm getting all the healers with wallets, because this would be the first year that it's pretty easy to do that. In the past, people were like, I don't know what a crypto wallet is, and I would be like, oh damn, because they couldn't accept, you know, like all forms of payment. So now I want it to be like everyone.
Yeah, you know, just tip them in ETH or Solana or what have you, and that people tend to be pretty generous, especially when it's not like dollar denominated, because it's like it starts to lose, you know, oh, it was $10 yesterday, it's $100 today, like it's all the same to me. So I hope that maybe you know, our healers can tap into a little bit of that generosity, because I'm sure people will be very grateful for the services they're providing.
Oh, that's cool. That actually makes me kind of think of like how it's like I'm working on really healing my relationship with money. I feel like that's something from my history, that it's like I feel like if I can remove that block, then more money comes to me, you know. And it's like the less I'm so attached to it, like the more that I end up making. It's like a paradox, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's something that I just want everyone to be successful, everyone to be happy and relaxed, and like, so if you come over to the Zen Zone, then you're gonna basically, it's like recharging your battery. We always worry about charging our phones, but like how often do we recharge ourselves? You know, it's like, so when you come over there, then you're going to be better when you go back to the other side. So it's like, it really makes sense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some unexpected, call it breakthroughs, or just moments of clarity for some of the people coming to ETHDenver, a chance to get what you didn't expect, because there will be a lot of energy. We're going to have on the order of 4 times as many people as last year, give or take. And so we're being very intentional with our extra venues and a system to make sure that, you know, we're not exceeding the capacity of any of our venues. So there will be a lot of people, there will be a lot of energy, a lot of activity, a lot of events. And so in that spirit of almost frenzy, I am so happy that we have a calm enclave, a little cave people can just crawl into and have calm lighting and a gong in the background, or get a massage. It means a lot, like you said, in just to helping regulate ourselves over what's going to be a jam-packed, really intense weekend.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because I get a little stressed out before because I'm thinking like, okay, gotta coordinate all this, but then it all comes together and it's so awesome. And then at the end we're like, we did it. You know, it's like, but it really is crucial for people to come over and to make sure that they'll think that they're in the Zen Zone, but to keep going, you have to go like through that parking garage. Oh, and it gets like creepy and cold, and you're like, I'm not going the right place. Like, just keep going. Follow the sign.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll make sure there's good signage. We definitely have a strong signage team that'll make sure we've got some high quality stuff. No cardboard this year. And if you think you're in the Zen Zone, keep going. That's the motto. Like, even if you think you're there, just keep going deeper, because the Zen Zone lives within all of us, right?
Down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I love it. That's a perfect metaphor.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna also have. Oh, sorry. We're gonna also have like Reiki and like other energy workers and stuff. So it's and a tarot card reader. Like we're doing it all, and we're gonna have some special surprises. Some people are gonna be pretty excited about. So
okay. I mean, you got to be careful with excitement in a space meant to calm people down. But I'm genuinely looking forward to everything you're putting together this year. Thank you so much, Paige. Is there anything else you'd like to make sure that people know about ETHDenver or the Zen Zone before we let you go?
I'll be there, or my assistant Kat will be there. So feel free to find me or Kat, and we can definitely help you with anything you need.
Okay. And if anyone watching is interested in contributing any of their healing services, any of the things you just mentioned, is there a way that they can reach out and get a hold of you?
Yeah, Paige at ETHDenver.com. PAGE.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for coming, Paige. We really appreciate having you today.
Of course.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I am in that sweet spot. Not the raging fire, but that searing coal. I've got the energy. I'm excited for the Zen Zone. And the early alpha here is you're going to have to sign up for the massages because there's just too many people and we're all going to want one. So keep an eye out for that. Always the news drops in the Discord first, discord.gg/SporkDAO. Up next, we have a panel from one of our track sponsors. This is going to be Ryan and Dave and Tong Tong coming from API 3. I'm so excited to have them sponsoring our DeFi track this year. Hi, welcome everyone.
Hi, Derek. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming today.
Hi, Derek.
So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Ryan, as our de facto moderator here. Take it away.
Sure. Now, I did have a very brief presentation to give to share a little bit of information. I assume I can share my screen here.
Yes, definitely.
He's gone. So, all right. So let me throw that up. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. And I'll make this, sorry, wrong button. There we go. I'll make this super brief so we can get to the fun stuff. But I just wanted to introduce everybody to a new product that API 3 will be launching at ETHDenver. So first of all, we're super excited to be the DeFi track sponsor at ETHDenver. We did ETHDenver last year. We loved it. It was the best conference I think of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to attend, but I can't wait to be there this year. And we are going to be launching a new data feed product, an Oracle data feed product called Beacons this year at ETHDenver. And we're going to make those available to all of the bidlers at the Bidlathon. I practice saying that. And so I'm just going to give you a brief overview of that first, and then we'll talk about, and we'll get some good insights from Dave and Tong Tong. So first of all, what are beacons? Beacons are, I think everybody knows what data feeds are. We need off-chain data. We need real-world data in order to build DeFi applications. However, they tend to be somewhat heavyweight, and beacons are a very lightweight, transparent, efficient, source-operated, and scalable version of data feeds. And I'm just going to go through briefly what those mean. But when we talk about source operated and transparent, I think that's the key here. Is generally when we're getting data from oracles, we don't know where the data is coming from. We don't know where the data is being sourced from. With beacons, these are first-party oracles that are actually run by the API provider, the API data source, and they're putting the data directly on chain, feeding the data directly on chain. So we know exactly where the data is coming from. It's very clear, it's very transparent, it's very much in line with the ethos of Web3 and blockchain. In addition to that, they're incredibly efficient and scalable, meaning that they will tend to have a better cost that you'll probably love, and then also they can scale up and down to smaller, maybe less popular data feeds, as well as very efficiently scale up to higher performance data feeds and higher performance chains. And then the other thing, and then this is really what's key to ETHDenver, is we're going to be providing, for the first time, we're going to be delivering these beacons at ETHDenver to bidlers, and as I said before, these beacons are source operated, they're API provider operated. So Amber Data, one of the biggest names and the leading cryptocurrency data provider that I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of, but you'll get a chance to hear from them in just a minute, is going to be operating these beacons powered by API 3 at ETHDenver. This is super high quality institutional enterprise grade data feeds that are going to be provided directly from Amber Data to Ethereum and Polygon testnets for the hackathon. We're going to have $25,000 worth of bounties around this, and it's all going to be powered by API 3 beacons. So yeah, that's really exciting. I think I'm going to briefly, I'm going to skip through the details here, but if you look at the pictures, one of the problems that we often have with third-party oracles, where you have a third-party middleman who's relaying the data from the API provider like Amber Data to the blockchain, is that you have to make these trade-offs that result in either a lack of decentralization or rather high cost, and they also usually result in the data source being opaque, or you don't know where you're getting the data from. So that's the kind of the beacons are the polar opposite of that. Very transparent, lightweight, efficient, just put the data directly on the chain. And as a result, that makes them scalable, if cost efficient, and it allows you as a dApp developer to be more selective of the data that you're consuming in your application, because you know where it's coming from. You can go and verify. You can rely on the reputation of the API provider, such as Amber Data, who has a very good reputation off chain, and you can make better decisions that way. So if you want to use beacons in the Bidlathon, then what we recommend is that you go to api3.org/beacons and fill out this form and let us know which data feeds you might need for your application, for your solution. Because we do have to set these, or it's helpful if we can set these up in advance, and we want to try to do our best to cover what everybody needs. It's not a guarantee if you request one that it's going to be set up for the hackathon, but we will do our best to meet everybody's needs. And of course, the most requested, most in-demand feeds will be made available. So again, api3.org/beacons, there's a button there where you can request a data feed, and we recommend that you do that as soon as possible. We do want to touch on the first party. So we are going to be hosting a kickoff party on Tuesday, February 15th at the Mirrors Gallery, and that's going to be a happy hour with food and craft beer from 5 to 7, and then we're going to continue the fun up until midnight with a party. We really want this to be about connecting hackathon participants and potential founders with investors. And so if you're a developer, if you're a hackathon participant, if you're somebody who's got an idea and you're going to be competing in the hackathon, and you would love to maybe have the opportunity to meet some potential VCs or somebody who can help you with your fundraising, come to the party, hang out with API 3, talk to some investors, drink some beer, eat some pizza, and we'll have a good time. But it's going to be pretty laid back, and we're really excited about that. So make sure you register for that. We haven't got the invite sent out yet, but make sure you register for that if you'd like to attend, and we hope to see you there. Oops. Lastly, the following day on Wednesday, we're going to be hosting we call it the DeFi Head Start. We're going to be hosting a workshop teaching developers how to use beacons, how to use Amber Data beacons, and kind of get you up and running in case you've already tried and you're maybe having some questions about how to use those in your solution, or get you up and running in order to use that during the hackathon. So come on Wednesday for lunch at the Miras Gallery, get a free lunch and learn how to use Amber Data beacons. And don't forget to bring your laptop to that. And then finally, beacons are going to be launched on multiple networks, probably near the end of Q1 2022. We're looking at definitely Ethereum and Polygon. And actually, that's a good point that I want to hit on. The data feeds are going to be available on Ethereum testnets. So like Robston, Rinkeby, and Polygon, in the Polygon testnet Mumbai. So those are the ones that you want to target to use API 3 beacons and Amber Data beacons at the hackathon. And that's it. So with that, I'm going to
Did we just lose?
I think we accidentally
think
closed
Ron's
himself. Yeah, he'll be back in a second, I think.
Well, maybe we can start with the intro since give him some time to dial in. So everyone, my name is Tong Tong. Glad to be here. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Amber Data. There you are.
really sorry about that. I meant to hit the stop sharing button and I closed the browser.
Right. I'll finish with my intro. Hi, everyone. Nice to be able to speak to you. My name is Dave Connor. I lead the blockchain-focused business development for API 3. And I think, Ryan, you can start with the emceeing now.
Awesome. So yeah, we want to ask Tong Tong and Dave a few questions here. First of all, let's start with you, Tong Tong. So we've already heard a little bit about API 3 in that presentation. For those who might not be aware, can you give an introduction of Amber Data? Tell us what Amber Data does and what you're all about.
Yeah, sure. So Amber Data, we are a digital asset data infrastructure company. We've been supporting Ethereum and the builders since 2017. We've built an institutional-grade data infrastructure platform that provides digital asset data that includes from blockchain network data to decentralized exchanges, and as well as centralized exchanges, spot and derivative market coverage, that we can provide unopinionated, comprehensive, granular data, including price, reference rate, market intelligence, and insights that essentially give people a lens into the entire crypto economy. So thanks for having me here. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We are really excited to hear about Amber Data. And can you tell us a little bit about what sets Amber Data apart from other crypto data providers?
I would say first, we provide a very comprehensive view, right? Our data feeds include not only the centralized spot exchanges, but also decentralized exchanges as well, because nowadays really can't ignore the activities and volume that's happening on decentralized exchanges. And the second part is that we really built our platform, serve our mainly institutional customer, right? We are backed by many of the big name institutions, and there are investors as well as customers. I can name a few like Galaxy and Citi and Pantera, but a lot of other customers are under NDA, so I can't really, swing their names around. And so we offer today over 5,000 different digital assets pairs and cover more than 95 exchanges. And we just provide really high quality data, and we also have various different offerings for people as well. So whether you want to look at things from more aggregated fashion like global VWAP, TWAP, aggregated rates, or to level 1, level 2 order book and best bid, best offer, so you can understand spreads and potential slippage, depth of market. Depends on your use case. We can offer low latency, real-time data feeds, as well as historical data, so you can understand the market microstructure data. So you can effectively train your models discover, manage risk, or even select which is the most appropriate venue to trade on. So basically, all the things that an institutional investor that's used to have access to the data in the traditional financial markets, we're making that available for them in the crypto markets focus. So I'm super excited with the opportunity with Dave and API 3 that we're now making the data available now to the broader sense of Ethereum builders, and let's innovate DeFi and disrupt finance.
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, let me take it over to Dave then. Dave, we heard a little bit about API 3, first-party oracles, and all that when I was talking before. But one thing I was hoping you could explain better would be how oracles already exist. And most oracles today are not first-party oracles; they're third-party oracles operated by a middleman. What motivated API 3 to build first-party oracles?
Okay, it's a really good question, actually. So API 3, we think that the common problem called the Oracle problem is misposed. And for those people who are watching this who aren't aware of the Oracle problem, classically, the Oracle problem is that you shouldn't trust a single third-party source to put data from an API or a data provider onto the blockchain. And the problem with the Oracle problem, I guess you could call it, is that it supposes you have to use a third-party data source. So we think the way around this is by having the data provider run the Oracle themselves. So then instead of there needing to be a third party to put data on there, or an aggregation of third parties or some other abstraction, the data simply is put directly on the blockchain by the data source. The question really is why isn't this the industry standard already? It's actually quite difficult to do. So most blockchain oracles are difficult to run. We know this. I mean, my background before API 3 was building a data marketplace or using Chainlink oracles. So we're familiar with the Oracle projects out there. And working with the API providers to build that helped us design an oracle that was meant to be operated as a first-party oracle by people who are often incredibly technically capable, but maybe not necessarily in the blockchain sense, which is more or less a different set of skills and an expensive set of skills to hire. So even the other Oracle projects that run first-party oracles quite often will have the data providers subcontract that to somebody like Linkpool or a professional node operator rather than run it themselves. So the next question really, I guess, is why do you bother? So the advantages of first-party oracles are firstly that they're Sybil resistant. You don't have a network of third parties that could put fake data on the blockchain. So there's not an extra layer to trust, and they're also cheaper, because no node operators are doing it out of the goodness of their own heart. They want money for it. So if you have an API and you want to put the API on chain, instead of simply paying the data provider, you're paying the data provider and the people who are putting it on chain themselves. So it becomes easy to see that you can actually create a data feed that's very robust, very transparent, more secure, and can also still be cheaper at the same time when you go by the first party route.
Makes sense. All right. Well, thanks, Dave. And then Tong Tong, I know Amber Data is already an established leader in providing crypto data. Can you tell me why has Amber Data decided to now run a first-party oracle? Why have you decided to become an oracle yourself?
The answer is simple. Our customer is asking us for it. Our customer, nowadays come to us and say, "Hey, when I use an oracle to submit the price, use the oracle price, I don't know where that data comes from, and so it's not transparent. The source is not transparent. The pricing is not transparent, and I'm concerned whomever is in the middle, the middleware, is not really incentivized to provide me the highest quality data, but rather maybe what the cheapest provider could be, and get the cheapest provider so they can make more of the margin." Right. So our customers is like, I need to know where my data come from. I need to know I can rely on the data to build my business on. So the answer is very simple. It's driven by our customer demand. And to David's point earlier, if you really think about it, the middleware, it's blending all the different data providers' data together, right, to create this mixed source of data, but it doesn't really improve the data quality. It dilutes the high fidelity, high quality data providers' data with cheaper, not so reliable, retail use case data together. So that actually doesn't improve the quality, it dilutes the value. And to generate that perceived sense of security or perceived sense of decentralization, but I don't believe that really provide the value for the ecosystem, right? There is a joke or a saying in a Chinese saying that a single drop of the bird shit can destroy a big pot of soup, right? So I think that's a good analogy. It's like, let's not mixing things together. Let's actually, expose the reliable, high fidelity data providers and let us run the oracles and let us provide the data so you know where the data is coming from and our incentivizes are aligned.
I see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, then, Dave, I guess let me go back to you since we're talking so much about transparency here. Why is transparency important? Why does that matter? How much should developers and app builders care about transparency?
They should care about it a lot. The nature of blockchain is, unless you're talking about privacy-specific chains, the majority of public-facing blockchains are transparent, and that's key to them being trustless. So if I send you some ETH, Ryan, there's a track record of that on the blockchain, and it'll be there forever. You can see where I got that ETH from, and you can see what you do with that ETH, and that remains there forever. So this level of transparency, I think, should also extend to the data that's used to let dApps create computation and create products on chain. So if you have a lending market that, say, requires the price of ETH in order to work out if you've been liquidated today, then that lending market will need to get the price from somewhere. And if that somewhere just ends in a kind of anonymous pool of pseudonymous oracles, it becomes really difficult to tell if that data has been sourced transparently and if you should even rely on that data at all. But if you have data provider run nodes, then you can track the origin of the data back to exactly the company, the provider that's put it on chain. And you're bringing a kind of almost like a supply chain ecosystem to the data provision for blockchain. And everybody talks about supply chain being a blockchain use case where you can see where all the bits come from, you can track the passage through, and it's exactly like that. And I don't see why it should be any different for data. So you should be able to see where data comes from, how it's used in blockchain, and where tokens go as a result. So it seems fairly obvious.
Yeah, that is an interesting way to look at it. I've talked a lot about supply chain use case in blockchain, and I haven't really considered it from the data perspective. All right, well, let's go back to ETHDenver because that is why we're here to talk about. Let's see. So, Tong, I do want to say, first of all, just thank you from API 3, and thank you for everybody at ETHDenver and the Bidlathon for operating these beacons. It's gracious, and we're super excited, and we love the opportunity to be the first to actually use these things. I wanted to ask you, what do you hope will come out of the Bidlathon? What do you hope the outcome of this contest will be? What would you love to see happen?
Man, it's such an honor to even be here, right? I'm so excited to have the front row seat and watching innovation happens, right? It's just so excited to power developer and create different dApp and apps. And I don't know, I'm hoping to see everything. I'm hoping to see other projects and building on innovating the DeFi and protocols and continue building disrupt finance. And we've been long-time supporter of ETHDenver since 2018, I believe. And so, we've always, had a participation or sponsorship or mentorship in the hackathons. So I'm, super excited for that. And selfishly, I'm also scouting Emberdata, shameless plug, right? Emberdata, we're growing and hiring, and hackathons and buildathons are the best place to see the minds, the smartest people that's doing innovation. So for anyone that's interested in joining us, we're hiring in all areas. Come talk to me.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's see. I want to get one or two more questions in if we have a minute. Dave, let's say I'm a developer in the Bidlathon. I'm using Emberdata beacons for my project, and I want to take it to the next level. So I want to take my project to a mainnet, or I want to go out and build, get funding and build a real project out of it. What should I do?
Come speak to us. DAOs kind of started off as a fundraising vehicle. The original DAO on Ethereum was conceived as a way of creating a distributed, decentralized VC guild, in effect. And API3 certainly are happy to look at giving grants and helping people out who are looking to use Airnode and beacons in production. We've got a few developers going, and we can definitely help you with your projects and help give you any support that we can. Really, we're very flexible here.
Excellent. And yeah, API3 will have a booth at the Mirrors Gallery the entire week. So come stop by that booth. And then let's wrap it up with one last question. Tong Tong, as I understand it, you will be attending the first party on Tuesday, February 15th at the Mirrors Gallery. What's your prediction of the most unforgettable thing that will happen at the party? What do you think the craziest thing that's going to happen is?
I heard a rumor that Dave's going to shave his head. No. No.
Let's not make you first.
I think we hold him to that. Yeah. I heard rumors we were going to dress him in bacon, but we'll see.
No, you have to come and find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Come to the party and find out. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming and talking, and we'll see you. We'll see you in a few weeks. So we'll see you on February 11th to talk about the challenges, the API3 Amber Data Beacon challenges, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
Thank you, all of you, for coming so much. Everyone in chat has really been excited about all the announcements that have come out. Before we leave, thank you in advance, Dave, for shaving your head at the after party. And can you please show us your mug before you go? Can we get a good shot of that? So cute. So cute.
I've had it for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I originally, my way into crypto was buying Doge. And that was back in 2013 before it was cool. And
there you go. We're hoping that the Doge Foundation can set up a first party data feed then. So thank you again, API3, and also Tong Tong from Amber Data. I'm really excited for all this stuff people are going to be able to build, show off, try out, and maybe even scout a job opportunity, because I know all y'all are hiring the good talent we got coming through. So thank you again for coming. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Well, it doesn't stop there. We've got our next segment of panelists and track sponsors coming up. Brian from Polygon Studios is going to lead a panel. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
With team members from Decentraland, Atlantis World, and Skyreaver, because Polygon Studios, you're the track sponsors for our gaming and the Metaverse track. I know we're really excited about this one, so I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. This is just a veritable feast of gaming and Metaverse here with the panelists that we were able to recruit. You know, a little word on Polygon Studios before we get started here. You know, we are the facilitator of NFTs, blockchain gaming, and Metaverse dApps, of course, built on the Polygon network. So in true Polygon Studio form, we wanted to use this time to highlight and support some of those projects that are building on our technologies. So at the top here, I would just request that maybe starting with Sam, we go around and give a little bit of a background as to who you are and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Sam Hamilton. I'm the creative director of Decentraland Foundation. And we're a Metaverse project, and we've been partners with Polygon Studios from, I think, even before you were really a company. So as long back as it goes.
Hi, everybody. I'm CJ. I'm the co-founder of Atlantis World. We're building the Web3 social metaverse on top of Polygon by connecting Web3 with social, gaming, and education in one lightweight virtual world that's accessible to everybody. I'm also a Polygon advocate. I've been building on Polygon for some time now when it was originally Matic. Met Brian actually most recently a few weeks ago. Incredibly bullish on Brian and everything that Polygon Studios are doing. Super excited for ETHDenver and super excited for this panel. Hey, Michael, what's up, man? Great to see you here as well.
Hey, CJ. Hey, Sam. Hey, Brian. I'm Michael. I'm one of the co-founders at Horizon Blockchain Games. We're driving Web3 adoption by making blockchain easy, fun, and powerful for both users and developers. So we have Skyreaver, which is our free-to-play trading card game that we'll chat about today. And then we also have Sequence, the first smart contract wallet built for mass adoption and on Polygon, Ethereum, and other EVM-compatible chains. And similarly to Sam and CJ, we're super bullish on Polygon as well.
We're going to make some bullish on Polygon teas.
Bullish, mega bullish, man.
I love it. I love it. Sam, going back to you, let's start with a word about community and culture and collaboration and some of the things that you have going on with Decentraland. I mean, as someone who spends a significant amount of time there, you know, it's not lost upon me that every day something new is popping up, which is one of the beautiful parts about being open, decentralized, permissionless, et cetera. But you guys are attracting some really interesting players from the legacy world into the platform. So I just want to know, can you talk about some of the things you have going on or things coming down the pike, maybe even like leak a little alpha?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the last year for us has been amazing. I mean, the whole space, there was a huge wave of mainstream attention into the space, and we got a lot of that because we were up and running when it all started. So all of last year, brands were reaching out to us and trying to find out how they could get into the metaverse, and you know, the music industry, the art industry, and now the fashion industry. So the alpha I can give you is that we're doing a fashion week at the end of March. There's an enormous amount of real world and digital fashion brands getting involved, like household names, and it's going to be a really epic and historic experience. I think we're calling it the Metaverse Fashion Week because although this is the first one and it's inside Decentraland, we fully expect this to be something that happens year after year and becomes much bigger than Decentraland and cross-platform and part of the regular calendar of the fashion industry.
I love hearing that. You know, as somebody with experience in the fashion industry, I'm keenly interested to see how this all shakes out. So, of course, I'll be spending time there during Metaverse Fashion Week. Bringing it to CJ, I have a question about the lightweight, accessible nature of the platform. You know, I feel like oftentimes, at least in the mainstream, when people use the word metaverse to describe something, it's shorthand for like AR or VR or something that has extreme high fidelity. And you've gone the opposite route. So I would love to hear about, you know, how you formulated this idea and what the goal was in developing a platform that's lightweight.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to expand on that. So I think like the 3D and immersive focus, which is kind of as standard right now in the metaverse space, in terms of how that kind of matches up with the state of the world right now, it unintentionally sets a high cost barrier to entry because in order to enjoy like a seamless loading experience or to be immersed in kind of like virtual reality, you have to go out and buy really expensive hardware, right? And this can't be a reality even for most families in America. Never mind when we consider like regions in the world where the income average is much lower, for example. And also the tech is just not necessarily available. So I spend a lot of time traveling. I travel full-time all year. I spent around 4 months living in Africa. And when I was in Tanzania just recently, it's going to sound like super privileged if I say that, but if my MacBook breaks, I can't buy a new one, right? Even if I have the cash there waiting. So there is a lot in terms of the expensiveness of tech in general, and also the availability of it. So we're going with like a 2D lightweight pixel approach in the web browser so that it can be accessed by anybody on any device, even an outdated device from anywhere in the world. And then we're kind of fusing that with the social features and the Web3 elements to create this kind of accessible and gamified onboarding framework for Web3 as a whole. So you'll be able to interact with a variety of different Web3 applications in a gamified way, like for example, a DeFi bank or an NFT marketplace, or for example, a fashion show. Great to see that happening, by the way, Sam. I'll definitely be there at Metaverse Fashion Week. You can do all of this, but you can just do it in a super lightweight and accessible way that anybody can access.
You know, that's super interesting. That's a good segue actually into Michael and what's happening with Skyweaver. We were having a conversation the other day about how, you know, you don't really love the phrase play to earn because of certain connotations that may be unintentional that gets associated with it. And you came up with another phrase that sort of plays into something that CJ's touching upon, which feels a little bit more democratic. So can you talk a little bit about the conversation that we had and sort of share that with the group here?
Yeah, totally. So similarly to what CJ is talking about with Atlantis World, accessibility is a huge component of what we're doing. With Skyweaver, we want anyone to be able to play this game, so it's browser-based, and it's truly free to play. You don't need to own any crypto to get started. And you can actually unlock the entire collection of the game through free play, and you can even win NFT versions of the cards through free play. And the reason we don't position it as a play to earn game is because we're not looking to set the expectation that you come to play Sky River to make money. We like a term more like play to own. So you can come, you play the game. If you win any cards, if you purchase any cards, you actually own them. But the emphasis is on the game first and foremost. And that's really allowed us to attract like a lot of trading card game players, whether they're professional Hearthstone players, professional Magic. We have world champions of Pokemon, and they're playing it for the gameplay alone. And then they have, they're not even thinking about the NFT or earning component. But as they're playing, they actually win their first NFT, and they realize like, holy shit, for the first time, NFTs, crypto, it makes sense to me. And so rather than set the expectation of like, yeah, come here, play money, it's like, no, come play a really awesome game. And then where you can actually own the game items, which I think, speaking for everyone on this panel, I'm sure we all believe that's what it should be. You should own your game items.
For sure. And, sticking with that term accessibility and staying with you for a second, that makes me think of the Sequence wallet and what you guys are doing at Horizon on the wallet side. Which will affect, the entire Polygon ecosystem, folks who are developing tools like this. So, I would love for you to kind of get into that for a little bit.
Yeah, so our focus with Sequence is to make it the smartest wallet for Web3 and to make it easy for anyone to access this next generation of the internet. And so we've done this in a number of ways. It's a smart contract wallet with social and email sign-on. So, it's as easy as going into your email or logging into a traditional game, and yet you're getting the advantages of having a smart wallet, multi-chain, highly secure wallet that actually connects you with all of Web3, any dApp that is EVM compatible. We're currently supporting Polygon and Ethereum, and we'll be adding all the other EVM compatible networks to it as well. And there are a host of other benefits to it, like there's first-class NFT support. So whether it's a game item or a piece of art, it renders in your wallet automatically. There's no manually adding it, and it displays the way that you would want it to. So it can almost become like your gallery for both viewing and storing and sending your collectibles. So it's just really about overall making the experience intuitive and familiar and easy enough for anyone that doesn't know anything about crypto, while at the same time offering these enhanced security and features and capabilities for even the most advanced crypto expert.
That's great. Talking about enhanced features, Sam, bringing it back to you. Again, another thing that's very easily noticeable by anyone who uses Decentraland is almost every time you log in, there's a new feature, or at least it feels that way. You guys keep it very fresh. And you were talking to me the other day about the client that will be releasing soon. So I would love for you to get into that a little bit, talk about the client that's releasing and any other features that are coming down the pike.
Yeah, sure. I mean, our devs work really hard, and yeah, we can thank them for just making the platform better and better and evolving it all the time. As everyone else was just saying, accessibility is really important. So we focused on a web version first, so that we could get people in. But now we've been developing a downloadable client for the last year, and it will be released in the next 4 weeks. And that's really the first step for us towards full VR support. So it will have performance improvements will be made with the downloadable client. So the web version will still continue, and we'll maintain both, and they'll run in parallel. But if people want a slightly smoother experience, or they're using older hardware, I'm told there'll be slightly different graphics in terms of lighting and a few things that we can add to a downloadable client that is just not possible with the web client. But the main vision is to get VR support by the end of the year. So that's what we're working towards.
It's amazing. Well, I'll be there. I'll be among one of the first users, I promise. Bringing it back to CJ on the opposite side, Decentraland has been operating for a little bit of time, and you're gearing up to operate, right? You have some big news about tomorrow. So I'll leave it to you to break that news. I don't want to be the one who says it. But let's get into that, and then maybe get into a little bit of the roadmap as you guys are starting to launch.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for that, Brian. So we've been building Atlantis World now for around 8 months' time. We built our first prototype, which is kind of like demo version. It was an acclaimed prototype. We had lots of strong and positive community feedback. We had over 2,000 active users. We stopped developing our demo version, and now for the kind of last few months, we've been full steam ahead developing our alpha version. which is a little bit more what Atlantis World is going to look like in the long term. We managed to scale our team to 9 full-time core contributors, even whilst fully bootstrapped. We turned down $10 million from prominent VCs a couple of months ago. We decided that actually we will build a community-owned and community-funded public good. We've had great success on that note. We actually raised $100,000 from a Gitcoin grants campaign just recently, and we will build a Gitcoin city inside of the metaverse to give back to everybody that supported us, which will include even Web3 integrations like governance and live grant funding from inside of the metaverse. So very exciting primitive for having like live grants funding, also DAO voting right there. Like you said, we're gearing up for a very exciting launch tomorrow. So for whitelisted users, we're having our alpha sale. Basically, it's quite an exciting user flow where users will mint a key. They will take the key to unlock the secrets of Atlantis. That will kind of reveal a founding Atlantean scroll. They will claim that to become founding citizens, and it will have a variety of perks. We'll also summon a DAO to start introducing some, governance themes and experimentation. We'll introduce like 4 social clubs. We'll have a citadel, which is token gated inside of Atlantis World, and a bunch of fun stuff that I would love to elaborate on. If you go to discord.gg/Atlantis World or twitter.com/AtlantisOX or Atlantis.world, as you can see in my name, you can read more about all of that. So yeah, thanks for the opportunity to plug it, Brian. And we hope to see all of the ETHDenver community there. It would be fantastic to see you there. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. It's so hard to have these conversations because there's so much that we can get into, and I keep looking at the clock and we have like 4 minutes on the schedule. So I'm going to peel back and ask a very general question for all 3 of you. I kind of prepped you guys a little bit for it because you know that I'm a Bankless fan, and you know that I'm a fan of that one word for the week to describe the week, right? So one word for the year instead. Thinking about 2022, if 2021 was a year of validation, let's say, we could all agree on that, for blockchain gaming and for the metaverse, what is the word to describe 2022? And Michael, I'm going to pick you first.
Onboarding. So just
you gotta elaborate though. You can't just
okay. And we just ended it after the word. Yeah, like with us, and I think what Sam and CJ are doing as well, right? We're onboarding the mainstream into Web3, making it accessible for anyone, and expanding beyond our crypto geek network that's been building Web3 and making it so wonderful so far. But it's now time to bring on the whole world to get to participate.
Great. Who's next? Sam or CJ? Don't make me pick.
I'll go. For Decentraland, I think it has to be growth. That's growth internally because the team of Decentraland has always been really, really small for how ambitious the project is, and we're now hiring more people and becoming more of a bigger, maybe maturing startup, let's say, and growth externally as well because we're seeing more users. We're trying to keep up with growth at the moment because users are coming so quickly. So yeah, growth for 2022.
If we can take a word and stamp it on 2022, I'm going with metaversal. And if we're talking purely in terms of the space and as builders, I think it's about terminal velocity. And maybe that's 2 words, but if we can get a hyphen in there, I think maybe it works. I think it's about reaching terminal velocity.
Nice. And that leaves us with 2 minutes to spare. So I could actually ask one more question. I'm going to get even more general than that and ask you, what's your favorite part of developing on Polygon and working with Polygon Studios?
Love. For me, like the feeling of this ecosystem, Polygon, it's an incredibly collaborative group. And, we've been working with you guys it's been years, like some of our director of product and our CEO, they've been close with your founders for a long time. And it's always been just this incredible, loving collaboration. So it's beautiful to see it manifesting more broadly now.
Any other takers? We have a minute.
My favorite thing about Polygon, and honestly, I'm getting close to tears now, is that when I was a 19-year-old kid, Polygon put their arm around me and they said, go and build that and we'll support you.
There's a lot of amazing things about Polygon, but I'd really like to draw some attention to the fact that it's eco-friendly. It's really important in our space right now, and you guys are doing a great job. Well done.
Much, much appreciated. Well, guys, this was an absolute pleasure. I hope to see you in the flesh sometime soon. And I guess I'm kicking it back to ETHDenver, I think.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know my 3 words for the year are bullish on Brian. We all agree that it takes a village. Seriously, it's not just Brian. It's not just Sam, CJ, or Michael, although we appreciate you so much for coming, for sharing your alpha. I personally am excited for not only the Metaverse Fashion Week at the end of March, but also the Atlantis World alpha sale tomorrow. So it's your last chance to get in there, y'all. Public sale right after if you miss it, though. I know I'm the fool who's not on the white list, so I'll be next in line. Thank you all for coming today. Really looking forward to seeing you all in February.
Thanks for having us.
Truly a pleasure. And to close us out, we are bringing back our Biddle Week steward, Dan Shields. Dan, how are you?
What's up? Doing good. How you doing, Derek?
Good to see you. It's been an awesome stream. Let's bring it right back to ETHDenver. We gave everyone else the microphone for too long. That was a huge mistake. We're going to do what we do best, which is shill ETHDenver. Can you tell us a little bit more about our fancy new scheduling tool, Sched, and give people a little bit of a walkthrough so they can know what to expect and how to orient themselves now that we've got 3x, 4x as many people and events happening?
I know. So you guys, I don't know if you have seen it yet. We haven't been super loud about it, but welcome to the party. ETHDenver.Sched.com. You can go and make an account today, and this is a listing of an ever-growing list of events that are happening, mostly for Biddle Week so far. So what we're talking about, remember, on Biddle Week, this section here, ETHDenver.com/Biddle Week. Go and check this out. We have an amazing schedule, which is now being populated here on Sched, and of all kinds of events that are going on in the area, right? So we've got the castle. It's over here is the main event. And then just up the street, past some food trucks and stuff, we're going to find all these things that are going on, at least on the official venues. So now that you're starting to see that you can sign up for this stuff here, right? So if you don't have an account, this is real easy. You go ahead and hit sign up, and I'm going to sign up with email. I'm going to go for like, Buffy at ETHDenver.com. Whatever is good for you. I'm going to go for Buffy, and you'll see why in a second, with some kind of password, right? I'm definitely not a robot. I guess there's some bicycles. Do you guys like captchas? I like captchas. I think I'm not a robot. Yes, I'm not a robot. So you can go ahead and then create this thing. Oh, no, it doesn't like my captcha. One more time on this. Buses. It might not like my blocking of everything either. Sorry, this is when you do live stream. It doesn't always work. Ooh, this one's fun. What do you think? Did I get all the vehicles? I don't know, guys. There we go. No, it does not. Oh, it already has one. Okay. So maybe I'll not show you that. I'll show you a different time how we can sign up for these events very easily. When you have an account here, you can go ahead and go in and just click a button, and it's going to go ahead and add that to your schedule. And for instance, if you go ahead and see like my actual account, we can look at me, right? Dan Shields, ETHDenver. I set up my profile. I got my PFP Buffacorn. Oh yeah, rainbow eyes are nice. And look, here's some of the stuff that I'm doing. Right, so you can go if you'd like to publish your profile publicly or not. Right, you can in your settings on your profile not share anything about what you're doing or your schedule. You'll just show up as basically an anonymous person is coming to the event if you add it to your schedule. But if you want to, you can share around who you are and what you're going to, and you can share based on this page as well out to your friends to go ahead and basically copy paste if they want to come and follow you around all week. So for instance, like one of these, I'm excited to host everybody on a little hike on Sunday. So if you're here on Sunday the 13th, come and join us. We're going to be doing some fun stuff with the Cryptorado community here. So good times. Go and check out the schedule. It's going to be updated, I think, on at least a daily basis now with more stuff. Right now, we already have some odd 70 events that are coming around that are listed here. And that's just Biddle Week, guys. And that's just now. We still have weeks and weeks to go to add things. So if you haven't yet and you're putting on an event, you go to this Biddle Week site right here, host an event, there's information that you can add these. So if you go ahead and list your event, this is stuff that I will immediately populate on the back end for you guys. It'll go up on this calendar. So all I really need is you to fill out this form here. And from there, whatever information you want to give us is good. Read through all this thing and send me an email specifically that we can list so that you can edit your event as an event organizer. So specifically, like we were looking at this Red Rocks adventure hike, right? It's like I'm putting this on, but really I'm putting this on through Cryptorado, right? So Cryptorado has its own account. So when you're filling out this form, please do put it in an email that you're cool with actually using for the account itself to manage your organization, right? Because whatever the event host is doing, if it's your person, then great. You'll be the person who's hosting it. If it's an organization you're representing, please give us that email so we can sign you up correctly. So list your events, guys. It's going to be great. If you don't know quite what you want to do, come and hang out with us on Discord. We've got a Bit a Week coordination channel, and I'll be there as soon as this is done, hanging out with y'all, so we can talk about the events that you might want to do. There's lots of people who are curious, and maybe they're looking for people to collaborate with on getting a venue or whatever it might be. And if you would like, we're rapidly running out of space, but you can request an official venue. That's $1,500 as a flat rate for 2 hours that we can get you into one of these main venue spots. And that's actually what most of these events that you'll see that are part of Bit a Week are here. So why Sched? More than just like, okay, there's a listing of events here. We can look at it in different views, right? So in particular, the grid view is nice because I want to be able to see there's some overlapping events, right? And this is just the beginning. I think we're going to have 4 to 5 or 6 simultaneous events running all Bit a Week, guys. So it's going to be up to you to decide what you'd actually like to go to and assemble your schedule from here. And also, to give you a sense, we can look at a map, like where the things actually exist. Oh, this is now for the main venue, but also on the schedule, we have a map view, right? And this map view here is how we can figure out where things are located. Almost all this stuff, right, as you might expect, is pretty close to the castle down here. But Bit a Week is all going on in this area. We've got a few things at Art Hotel, and as more community events come in, my guess is we're going to take over Denver, you guys. The overall listing of or the overall attendance right now, I don't know if Derek, if you know that offhand, like what's the RSVPs in person right now? Do we have that?
More than I'm comfortable with. It's
Right.
north of 5,000 by a large margin.
It's nuts. We're gonna take over the town, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. So to give you a sense then, like there's plenty of room for things to go on and for you guys to host and be part of this illustrious number of event hosts, right? When you set up an event using this list your event form here, right, that we were just going over, this guy, I will send you an email as soon as we're all done here, that will go ahead, excuse me, and let you set up an account for here. Yeah, dude, I need more coffee. Oh, man. But so we'll let you set up your event host account here, and or you can be one of the number of the illustrious Buffacorns, the people who have set up a public profile, right? Mm-hmm. So you can see who's here and what's people are up to.
Dan,
yes.
One thing I want to make sure we cover, because we get this in our Discord all the time. For people that are coming for their first time, they say, when should I be there? What is ETHDenver? I mean, even this, my background right now, it says it's the 11th to the 20th, but that's not even the full story. So can we review the 3 core aspects of ETHDenver, their dates, and what they focus on or offer?
So check this out. One of the other superpowers of Sched is that you can absolutely go in here and select by the event segment, as I'm calling it. So Bit a Week, the main event, and the mountain retreat, right? So if we wanted to look at the main event, this is yet to be populated. We're just saying like the castle is open. But if we're looking at the overall event schedule, right? Let's go back over to here. The event schedule at a glance, we've got this big kickoff that happens on Friday. And this is going to be on February the 11th at the Art Hotel, birthday. Right? Oh, no way. Mm-hmm. We get to celebrate your birthday for the kickoff? Yes.
Yeah.
It's
destiny.
It is destiny. It's absolutely destiny. Well, so that'll be a fun party,
sure.
Especially because it's a birthday party.
Sure.
And then we're going to do all week, starting then over the weekend into the week. We'll have programming of all kinds. So there's parties, there's workshops, there's events. I'd say most of this is, not most, about half is developer focused on learning how to use tools like the sponsors, for instance, are putting together. So if you go here, you can also filter by not the event segment necessarily, the target audience. Maybe you're a developer, right? all these are for you. They're going to be developer focused talks that are going on, and this is rapidly growing. We have a whole bunch of different workshops in particular is another thing you can look at. So these are mostly geared towards developers, not all of them though, right? So that you're able to pick and choose what kind of thing. For instance, maybe there's some parties you want to go to, right? When are these happening? Maybe you want to party with Polkadot, right? These details will be coming up, but it looks like Web3 Foundation is doing something from 7 to midnight, right? That's pretty cool.
That's a nice party. And that's the conservative estimate. So my favorite thing about Biddle Week is that you're setting it up so that it's open, it's permissionless. People can host an event wherever they want. And then through that form, put it on our community calendar so that it's just up. To my understanding, you're not denying anyone from being on that calendar.
Absolutely not. I'm doing my best to make sure everybody gets listed and to help you guys put on whatever you want. The only thing that we have a little bit of a whitelist on is these official venues, and that's only because they're all inclusive, right? We're not trying to make money off of this, you guys. We're barely coming by. In fact, we'll probably go a little bit underwater because it comes with things like AV support and all the logistics and the venues set up. You have an on-site steward who's going to be an event coordinator with you. So this is the easy button, but if you want to throw on your large event somewhere close by, because I think our capacity at most of these venues is about 100 comfortably, maybe 200 if you really want to be tight with your friends and get rid of some tables and chairs and stuff like that. So yes, it's open access.
Agreed, Fractalians. There are going to be a lot of great events, which brings me to the other important point. So if Biddle Week is February 11th to 17th, and what we're calling the main event overlaps with that the 17th to the 20th. That's that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what we also call the big weekend.
Yep.
That is where a lot of the biddling is going to happen. But just to be clear, team formation is starting now after this stream in the Discord. We do our Friday icebreakers every week, including this week. Biddling can start on February 11th, like most events like this, hackathons, biddle-a-thons, we ask people not to start their projects before, but you can get an early start on the 11th through the 20th. That's totally fine.
Absolutely.
That would give you an advantage on teams that are only arriving for the 17th to the 20th. And then as far as Sched goes, and the fact that, I was feeling a little bit of that FOMO in my heart when you were showing me there's 6 events happening at the same time, and that's just Biddle Week. During the main event, we're also going to have 6 different stages. Sometimes they're all having speakers at the same time. And there's this feeling like I'm going to miss stuff. There might be overlapping things that I'm really excited about. So I want to make it really clear for everyone that by the time the event starts and you've created your custom schedule over here on Sched and selected all your favorites, I have very good news for you, which is that 1, every single event during the main event is already going to have a link to its corresponding Twitch live stream. 6 stages, 6 live streams. So that's one way you can tune in and keep track of stuff. And also, Jonathan Palmer is leading our amazing AV production team. We're going to have a really fast turnaround on those so that within 24 hours or less after the speaker gives their talk, the video is going to be up on YouTube. We're going to have tweeted about it and tagged them. So you'll be able to watch those either later that night or more likely after you go home if there's anything you missed. So the good news is we're trying to make it easy for everyone to keep track of what you want to do and see and hear, and even to catch up on it if there's things that overlap with each other.
Yep, absolutely. So, and one of these things that we're mentioning in these official bookings for the venues that we're doing is that on the Biddle Week Steward here, what we're putting in, you'll see these tagged as live streamed, right? So these links are not up yet. Exactly. They're not up yet, but they will be, right? And this is just a few. Many more are going to have all of this. So if you're filtering virtually and you want to use Sched, tool is for you as well. So anything that is tagged with this, and I'll make sure that we tag all the right things for you when those links are live. You can call in from remote. You can watch it streamed or watch after the fact. That this site will remain indefinitely. So you can look back at recordings and figure out all the information about it. And if people are willing to share their, if they're attending or not, so you can actually see specifically like here, we'll look back at this party of Polkadot, right? Who's going. So you can figure out like, hey, I missed somebody at the party. Who was it? Oh, and maybe it was this guy, right? So lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, Vakita in Twitch chat says, but not the IRL parties. I will, at the very least, make an effort with Laura to live stream the closing party if we're able to, so that we can all watch Dave get his head shaved. That is something I want to make sure we have in our story for a long time. But yeah, you know, it depends. We're going to do our best to make the virtual experience as close to as amazing as the in-person experience as possible. In some ways better. Like I mentioned earlier, we're bringing back the virtual castle. We're going to have, you know, the live stream coordination so that you can be tuning between stages even faster than someone who's running between venues. So in some ways, there will be an advantage there. And, you know, I can't chill it enough. Our Discord is where all the magic happens. It's where Dan and I spend an inordinate amount of time. And we look forward to seeing you all there after this stream. Is there anything else you want to tell folks before we close it out today, Dan?
Yes, the mountain retreat. So talking about things, you can list your events for Biddle Week, but you can also list your events for the mountain retreat. So I very much encourage you guys. This will go up on Sched, but we haven't had any real submissions yet. If you want to like go out and like the mountains with your friends or whatever, submit events on this type form here, right? And I guess that type form needs to be updated. There's definitely a link here that'll get you to register for the mountain retreat or submit an event. So the submitting an event here, right? Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to fix that. It will allow you to get onto the Sched in the same way for Biddle Week. But then the mountain retreat, if you want to come for specifically getting transportation to and from, we got buses running both ways. So if you want to not get a mega expensive Uber, sign up for this. It will be able to take you from, I believe that this is actually listed on the Sched right now.
It goes from Denver to Breckenridge, and then on the way back you have a choice of going back to Denver or straight to the airport, which is really
so it looks like 11 on Monday we're gonna ship everybody up to Breck, and then we're gonna head back on Thursday. So I think right now there's about 1/5 of the total capacity is filled up. I think we got 500 seats and just about 100 people are signed up for the bus. So get it quick because these are going to go fast.
We've had around 2,000 people say they're interested in the mountain retreat. So if you're serious about that and you want ultra cheap, we do it for you, get on the bus with your friends, summer camp vibes, this is your chance to reserve your seat.
Do it. So we'll fix the type form, submit your events, because there's not a lot of official things going on as I'm aware. We're hoping that everybody decides to spontaneously go skiing, go mountaineering, go hit a hot tub, make some party happen, whether it's at a formal venue or an informal one. There's lots of great stuff. So let us know what you're thinking about doing for Biddle Week and for the mountain retreat. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can to give you an account to set up and edit your event details. And I think the last thing that I'll leave you with is for those who are submitting one, you'll get an email from me that's very much like this. But basically, I'm assuming you have an ETHDenver account, or excuse me, not ETHDenver, a Gmail account, specifically so that I can use whatever your email is plus the Sched host right here. So you can set up an account for yourself at that email and an account for the organization profile, because we want those separate for you. So if you're doing that, go ahead and give me a Gmail account if you have one. Otherwise, do indicate which 2 separate accounts you would like to set up with. Each one needs its own email.
That's fun. We're using Gmail hacks. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Gmail hacks are fun.
Well, Dan and I are going to hop off and see y'all in the Discord right after this. Discord.gg/SporkDAO. What you can expect there is you can introduce yourself, meet some other folks who are either new or returning to the event, and start to form teams around the cool ideas that people are sharing. We're going to be in voice channel, but we've also got 9 different text channels, 1 for each track. So if you're interested in the DeFi track or the gaming and metaverse stuff that you learned about today, just go ahead and hop in one of those channels and say, ooh, maybe I could use their new beacons, or ooh, does anyone want to go in and form a DAO so we can buy a plot in Decentraland? I'm a part of a couple DAOs that are having that actual conversation. So that's a real thing that you could be doing. I look forward to seeing you all there right after the stream.
Sounds great. See you there, guys.
Bye, everyone.